Hello everybody, good evening, welcome back to the channel where it is time to do my Matchweek 22 predictions of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. Now, apologies again, I did try and do this earlier today, but unfortunately the video, something went up with the video, so I'm having to do this again, so bear with me over this one. So, let's have a quick look at how I did last week, and it was a very bad week. Very bad week as well. So, Brighton-Chelsea, I went for a 2-0 win to Chelsea. That finished 1-1. Burnley-Aston Villa, I went for a 1-0 win to Burnley. That finished 2-1 to Aston Villa. Newcastle-Leicester, I went for a 2-1 win to Leicester. That finished 3-0 to Leicester. Southampton-Spurs, I went for a 2-1 win to Tottenham. That finished 1-0 to Southampton. Watford-Wolves, I went for a 2-1 win to Wolves. It finished 2-1 to Watford. Man City Everton, I went for a 3-1 win to City. It finished 2-1 to City. Norwich City Crystal Palace, I went for a 2-1 win to Palace. That finished 1-1. West Ham Bournemouth, I went for a 1-0 win to Bournemouth. Finished 4-0 to West Ham. So Bournemouth definitely struggling at the wrong end of the table, and it's a big challenge now for Eddie Howe for sure. Arsenal Manchester United, I went for a 1-1 draw between these two, finished 2-0 to Arsenal. And Liverpool Sheffield United, I went for a 2-0 win to Liverpool, and it was 2-0 win to Liverpool. So have to have a better week, surely, fingers crossed. So the games we have are as follows. We have a Friday night game, that is Sheffield United against West Ham. Then Saturday lunchtime we have Crystal Palace against Arsenal. Very good London derby. I will probably watch that for sure. Chelsea against Burnley. These are the 3 o'clock games. Chelsea, Burnley, Everton against Brighton, Leicester City against Southampton, Manchester United against Norwich City, Wolves against Newcastle. Then Saturday night kick-off at 5:30 is Tottenham against Liverpool. And then the Super Sunday games are Bournemouth against Watford and Aston Villa versus Manchester City. So some very good games coming up this week for sure. So the first game to preview is Sheffield United against West Ham, and the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 2 wins to Sheffield United, 2 draws and 1 win to West Ham. And the last result was a 3-0 win to Sheffield United. Now, this was obviously in the 2006-2007 season when Sheffield United actually went down due to West Ham illegally buying Javier Mascherano and Carlos Tevez. So you'd have to say there is a bit of a grudge match between these two. So she'll see what happens. Sheffield United there are coming off the back of obviously a 2-1 win against AFC Fylde in the FA Cup. But in the league, they lost 2-0 to Liverpool, and it has to be said that they were good. They were good against Liverpool. They managed to keep the score down. Dean Henderson was very good as well, but they had chances. They really did. They had chances. McGoldrick had a chance saved by Alisson, and then obviously Lundstram clears the offside trap. Well, we think he has, but that's offside. He puts the ball past Alisson, but the goal is not. It doesn't stand. So on another day, Sheffield United probably lose that 2-3, 4-0. But they lost 2-0, so they'll want to bounce back in front of the home fans, and they're coming up against the West Ham side, who have kind of had a bit of a revival in form, it has to be said. Obviously 4-0 win over Bournemouth, and then obviously 2-0 against Gillingham yesterday as well. So very good for West Ham, and obviously they're managed by David Moyes now. So this is going to be a very good game, I think. 2 sides in decent form, I'd have to say. But just because it's at Bramall Lane, have to back Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United will win this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the Blades here. I just think that Sheffield United will be a little bit too stronger for West Ham. But a good game in prospect for sure. So Crystal Palace against Arsenal now, and the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 1 win to Palace, 2 draws and 2 wins to Arsenal. And the last result was a 2-2 draw between Palace and Arsenal. And actually, in fact, the previous fixture at the Emirates was also 2-2. So these sides do like goals in these games. Crystal Palace, they're coming off the back of a 1-1 draw with Norwich in the Premier League, but they were knocked out of the FA Cup by Derby County 1-0. A Chris Martin goal knocked them out of the FA Cup. So, Palace, they are kind of starting to be a little bit, I mean, inconsistency. I think to lose to Derby now they can actually focus on the Premier League, but I don't think they're in any relegation trouble. I think they are needing to focus on basically keeping Zaha in this window, and I think they will keep Zaha in this window. I think they may add to their squad. That is another thing you could say, but I don't know. You just don't know with that. But it should be interesting to see. Arsenal, another team that are having a bit of a revival under Mikel Arteta. It's a draw, a defeat, and a win in his first 3 matches in charge for Arsenal. And Arsenal were very, very good against Manchester United, has to be said. Very, very good indeed. Pepe looked very, very good as well. And obviously Socrates gets the second as well. And they defended very well, and that's something they've not done. And they don't keep many clean sheets, but that was a very, very welcome clean sheet for sure. So, Arsenal are playing better under Arteta than they were under Unai Emery. And you can already see that for sure. So it will be a very interesting game. However, this game, for me, I cannot separate them. And believe it or not, I think there will be goals. I think it'll be a very, very good game, very open game of football. These two sides play some very good football as well, especially at Arsenal as well. Crystal Palace doing okay at Selhurst Park, and Jordan Ayew is in very, very good form as well, so I expect him to score. Zaha's got a decent record against Arsenal as well, so I reckon he will score as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, a Desmond, between these sides. Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 2. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between the sides again. So that'll be the third consecutive draw between these sides, and it'll be the third consecutive 2-2. So we'll see what happens with that one. Chelsea against Burnley now. And the last 5 between Chelsea and Burnley have resulted in 3 wins to Chelsea, 1 draw and 1 win to Burnley. And the last result was a 2-2 draw between Chelsea and Burnley. But obviously Chelsea won 4-0 away at Turf Moor earlier in the season. Now obviously Chelsea won against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup yesterday by 2-0. Goals by Hudson-Odoi and Ross Barkley. However, they drew 1-1 with Brighton, and it's another example of Chelsea not closing out a game. They seem to lose so many goals in that 87th plus minute, and unfortunately there's another one. Jack and Bash overhead kick obviously got them to a 1-1 draw with them. So, Chelsea have to do something about closing out games, and it'll be interesting to see if they actually add to their squad. There's been lots of rumours suggesting Marcos Alonso to Inter Milan as one, and potentially it's looking like Giroud is on his way out as well. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how that will affect Chelsea, and can they bring somebody in? That'll be another matter as well. But we shall see. We shall see what happens. Could Zaha potentially end up at Chelsea? Lots of rumours about Zaha to Chelsea as well, so that'll be interesting to see, but we'll see what happens with that one. Burnley. Now, it has to be said that Burnley were, let's say, surprise defeat to Aston Villa, it has to be said. I don't think many people would have expected Villa to get the away win, but they did. And it has to be said that they won 4-2 against Peterborough. But I don't think Joe Hart will be playing many games very, very soon for Burnley. He's been the subject of transfer speculation as well to Aston Villa, believe it or not. So that'll be very, very interesting to see if he does go, because he was booed off by the Burnley fans against Peterborough for his performance in that FA Cup. And Burnley, they're going along with their job. They're always a tricky team to play against, Burnley. They always are. So it'll be a very, very interesting game for me. So, unfortunately, Chelsea have lost the last 2 at home to Southampton and Bournemouth, respectively. But I just have a feeling that Chelsea will be too strong for Burnley. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Chelsea, but I think it'll be a very, very narrow game. So we'll see what happens as well. So we'll see what happens with that one. Everton against Brighton now, and the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 2 wins to Everton, 2 wins to Everton, 2 wins to Brighton, and 1 draw. So very, very evenly measure for sure. And the last result was a 3-1 win to Everton. Now, it has to be said, Everton under Carlo Ancelotti have done very, very well, it has to be said. They have done very, very well. Last couple of results, not great. Not great, it has to be said. However, it'll be very, very interesting to see how they do, I think. And yeah, we shall see what happens for sure, because, you know, they did play very well against Manchester City. Very, very unlucky not to actually get something from the Etihad. It was just unfortunate that they didn't manage to get anything. But they played very, very well against Man City and just didn't finish their chances. That's one thing you can say for them as well. So, and then obviously they got knocked out by Liverpool last night in the FA Cup, as well. So, it shall be very, very interesting to see how well they will do. And I expect them to bounce back as well. So we'll see what happens for sure. And I think obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin is scoring goals now as well. But Everton are very, very poor at Anfield, so they'll definitely want to bounce back for sure. So they're coming up against the Brighton side, who were knocked out of the FA Cup by Sheffield Wednesday, but a very good 1-1 draw with Chelsea in the last game, and especially Alireza Yakanbash. If I've said that wrong, then I apologise, Brighton fans, but and to any Iranian fans as well who are watching as well. So, Yakanbash, very, very good overhead kick to get a point in that game. Everton will want to bounce back, and I expect them to bounce back. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to the Blues here. I just think Everton will be far, far too strong for Brighton. I'm going for a 2-0 win to Everton. Leicester City against Southampton now, and the last 5 results between these sides have resulted in 3 wins to Leicester City, 1 draw and 1 win to Southampton. And funnily enough, that last Southampton win came in the fixture last season, was a 2-1 win to Southampton at the King Power. But obviously we all know about the result previously, 9-0 Leicester City win that was. Now Leicester City, they are coming off the back of a 3-0 win over Newcastle, looking very, very good. No Vardy, no problem. No problem for Leicester. Very, very good performance from them. And it's, will he make the game against Southampton? That is another thing you can say. And then they followed that up with a 2-0 win over Wigan Athletic in the FA Cup. So it's going very, very well for Leicester City. And, ever since that 9-0 game, their opponents have actually improved a lot. And their opponents are Southampton, who, I have to say, they've had back-to-back wins at St Mary's. Obviously 1-0 against Spurs. Danny Ings, who else? Danny Ings just loves scoring at this moment in time. He's on absolutely fire at the moment. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see if he can keep that up. And obviously they won 2-0 against Huddersfield as well in the FA Cup. Shall be very, very interesting indeed. So this game, I can only really see one winner in all honesty. I'm going to say that Leicester City will win, but I do not think it will be comfortable. I think Southampton will give them a very, very good game. They've definitely improved. You can see that as well. And they're keeping a few clean sheets as well. So, going to be very, very interesting indeed. So, I'm going to say that this is going to be a 3-1 win to Leicester City. So, we'll see what happens for that. But I'm going for a 3-1 win to Leicester City in the game. Manchester United against Norwich City. So we'll see what happens in this game. And the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 4 wins to United and 1 win to Norwich City. And in fact, the last meeting between these sides was a 2-1 win to Norwich City. So, the very, very interesting indeed, for sure. So, Manchester United, what can we say? Wow. They were poor. They were very, very poor against Arsenal. Really, really, you have to say their performance was woeful, I would have to say, in that aspect. Players didn't look up for it. Defensively all over the place. I mean, you could pick holes in that Manchester United defence, and there's a lot wrong in that team at the moment. And it's going to be very, very interesting for me. I think that this United team, I mean, the fan base is completely divided. You've got Jesse Lingard choosing Mino Raiola as an agent now. I mean, that is just ridiculous. But it's up to him what he wants to do. So, unfortunately, I just cannot see. I don't think Jesse Lingard will be a Manchester United player next season. I can say that now. I do not think he will be a Manchester United player next season. But it'll be interesting to see what will happen. I think also the fact is that we need to delve into the fact that he has been the subject of transfer speculation with him possibly going to Leicester City for James Maddison. I do not see that happening 1 minute, and I don't see Jesse Lingard actually going to going anywhere in January. So that's another thing you can say for that. Norwich City. Okay, they are bottom of the Premier League, but a 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace, that was a very, very good result for them. Very, very unlucky not to get a win out of that game, because they played very, very well against Crystal Palace, and it shall be very, very interesting to see how they how they do. Do I see them continuing that run at Old Trafford? Obviously, the last result they won there. No, I don't. I think Manchester United will bounce back. They definitely need to bounce back, because against Wolves, they were very, very poor, and against Wolves as well. So, very inconsistent Manchester United, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Manchester United in the game. I just think it's only a very, very good game, and I think Manchester United will win that comfortably by 3-1. Wolves against Newcastle now, and the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 1 win to Wolves, 1 win to Newcastle United, and 3 draws in there for good measure. And the last result was a 1-1 draw between Wolves and Newcastle, and funnily enough, the result previously was a 1-1 draw as well. Wolves, obviously, they have a 0-0 draw against Manchester United. They have a replay next Tuesday at Old Trafford, and it has to be said that they lost to Watford, but they don't lose many games. That's the thing with Wolves. They do not lose many games. Lots of transfer speculation over Raul Jimenez. There's loads over Ruben Neves as well. I don't see them going anywhere in January, in all honesty. But Wolves are just really doing very, very well. And, this is the thing. Wolves are not going to, lose many games this season. And I think that's going to be very, very interesting to see. But if they can continue with the way they're going, then they are definitely up there to potentially finish in that top 4. I think they are now in a top 4 race. Whether they can contain that is another matter, but it shall be interesting to see. Newcastle United, they are coming off the back of a 1-1 draw with Rochdale in the FA Cup, so they all obviously have to replay. But against Leicester, they were all over the place, defensively all over the place, and they're getting so many injuries now, which is not good news for if you're a Geordie. It's not very, very good at all. So, with that being said, I'm going to say that Wolves will win this one. I think it'll be a very, very interesting game. I'm going to go for Wolves to win this one by 2-0. Be very, very good game, but we'll see what happens in that one. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Wolves in the game. Tottenham Hotspur against Liverpool. Now this is a Saturday night game as well. This is live on Sky Sports, so watch it if you want to. And the last 5 between the sides have resulted in 3 wins to Liverpool, 1 win to Tottenham, and 1 draw in there for good measure. And the last result was a 2-1 win to Liverpool. Now, this will be Liverpool's first ever visit to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because obviously their last win against Spurs away from home was at Wembley. So there we go. What has happened to Tottenham Hotspur? They have gone off the boil really, really badly. Couple of results in there. I mean, you could say they lost to Manchester United. They even, they lost to Southampton as well. That was a surprise result. And then they go and draw with Middlesbrough as well. So, and obviously they've now lost Harry Kane as well. So that's a very, very bad blow for them for sure. It's going to be very, very interesting, I think, to see how they do. But unfortunately, I just don't see where obviously they have Son coming back as well. But, I mean, is he going to fire the goals in for them? I think it's a big, big problem. And I think Tottenham definitely need to spend in January as well, because obviously Harry Kane is now out for a wee while. So interesting, be very very interesting as well. So they're coming up against Liverpool. I mean, wow. That is going to be a very, very interesting game, because Liverpool have obviously come out of the FA Cup against Everton and they won 1-0. But against Sheffield United, they basically played them off the park. Really, really excellent performance against Sheffield United, and it'll be interesting to see how well they will do in this game. But they're just going on fire, and obviously Minamino will now be available to be on the bench, and also Oxlade-Chamberlain is ahead of schedule as well, so it'll be very very interesting to see as well. So how Liverpool go, I just think that's going to be very very interesting to me as well, and it'll be interesting to see how Liverpool can do, especially with everyone expecting them to win. This is a very very hard game, it's a hard place to go. But I just think Liverpool at this moment in time, defensively sound again. You know, ever since Joe Gomez has come back to the team, they've kept I think it's 8 clean sheets in the last 9 games. So that is very very good, very very good as well. So Liverpool are definitely playing very very well and getting clean sheets. So in that aspect, I think Liverpool can go to Tottenham, and I think they will win. I just think Tottenham are in a very very indifferent period of form at this moment in time. I'm going to go for Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2 in this game. So we'll see what happens with that one. Now, this game is a 6-pointer. The next game I'm going to preview is Bournemouth against Watford. 18th versus 19th in the Premier League table. Wow, this is not who you would expect to be in the bottom 3. But there we go. So the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 1 win to Bournemouth, 3 draws and 1 win to Watford. And the last result was a 3-3 draw between Bournemouth and Watford. It's quite interesting as well. Obviously Bournemouth, they lost 4-0 against West Ham and were picked off, really. Very, very poor performance against West Ham. And it has to be said, yes, they did win against Luton in the FA Cup as well, but yeah, this is probably the biggest challenge now of Eddie Howe's recent tenure as Bournemouth manager. But they are getting players back at the right time. Obviously, you'll get Callum Wilson back. Harry Wilson will be coming back. So as soon as their players are coming back, I expect them to clear away from that bottom 3. I just can't see Bournemouth going down, because I think along with the other teams that are in there, I think Bournemouth have got an attacking threat. Whereas Norwich have a very good attacking threat, it's just defensively they're all over the place. I think Bournemouth are pretty sound at the back. Well, obviously Nathan Ake as well. So this is a big worry for Bournemouth, and I think it is very very interesting to see how well they do, for sure. So we'll see what happens in this one. Watford, they are getting. They're getting so many good points under Nigel Pearson. Another win against Wolves this time. It was a 2-1 win, and they played very very well. And both of these sides have draws. These sides do like draws in this game. So last game was a 3-3. I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go for Bournemouth 1, Watford 1. But I don't think a draw would be very very good for either side. So I think they'll definitely want to get more than a point, but we'll see for sure. But I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Bournemouth and Watford, and it leaves both of them rooted in that bottom 3. So we'll see what happens as well. And the final game to preview this evening is Aston Villa against Manchester City. And the last 5 results between these sides have resulted in 4 wins to City and 1 draw in there for good measure. And in fact, the last result was a 0-0 draw at Villa Park. But obviously, the last result between these sides was a 3-0 win to Manchester City. Now, Aston Villa's win at Burnley has come at a cost, I'm afraid to say. Tom Heaton and Wesley are now out for the rest of the season with knee ligament damage. Big blow, because those two have been excellent since they came in. Heaton especially, he's a top goalkeeper. So they're now looking at Joe Hart potentially. But one of the things that they have done, they have brought back Matej Sarkic from Livingston on loan. From his loan spell at Livingston. So it'll be interesting to see who actually goes in goal. I think Nyland will probably go in goal. And then obviously, I do believe that they are wanted to move out Lovre Kalinic, I think, who was their keeper in the Championship season. So that's another thing you have to say. But they just need players to get back because they need Tyrone Mings back. I think they need John McGinn back. Once those two get back, I think there'll be a better footballing side. And interestingly enough, they are looking at strikers this January. They're looking at Daniel Sturridge potentially from Hotspur, who used to be obviously Liverpool, West Brom, Chelsea, Bolton, etc. And also Olivier Giroud has been mentioned. Michy Batshuayi has been mentioned. So you would expect Aston Villa to probably make a few moves in this window, and I think they probably will, and I think they need to, for sure. Manchester City are coming off the back of, obviously a 4-1 win over Port Vale, and a 2-1 win over Everton in the Premier League. Now, obviously, they have Manchester United tomorrow in the Carabao Cup. Now, as far as I'm aware, all of Manchester City's first team players have trained except Leroy Sané. Now, that means that obviously Laporte will be back as well, so he's back on training. May be a little bit too soon for him this game, and possibly the game at the weekend as well. But City are definitely getting better, and obviously Jesus is scoring again as well. So, but it's going to be a very, very interesting game, and obviously they'll be boosted by Ederson as well. He'll be back. He missed the Everton game due to illness, and obviously Bravo is the cup goalkeeper as well in the FA Cup, and obviously he'll be the cup goalkeeper in the League Cup as well. So you would expect Ederson to probably return for City against Aston Villa, and I think City will have too much for Villa, unfortunately. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Manchester City in this game. So we'll see what happens in that one. So that is it. That is my Premier League predictions for Matchweek 22. I will go over my predictions very, very quickly as well. Sheffield United 2, West Ham 1. Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 2. Chelsea 2, Burnley 1. Everton 2, Brighton 0. Leicester City 3, Southampton 1. Manchester United 3, Norwich City 1. Wolves 2, Newcastle 0. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. Bournemouth 1, Watford 1. And Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 3. So that is it. That is my match week 22 predictions done. That is it. Now it is 9-8 to me against Mr. Exclusive Duty to Entertain channel. I am 9-8 up. So he's obviously won the last couple of game weeks. So I definitely need to get back to winning ways for sure. So hopefully I do that this weekend. Sorry, John. No offense. So. If you do like my content, then please hit that subscribe button, smash a like, leave a comment. It'd be brilliant if you could do that as well. And obviously hit that notifications bell for every upload that is uploaded onto this channel as well. So lots of content coming up. I've got my Liverpool team of the decade coming up. That will be tomorrow at some point, hopefully. Hopefully I can actually do that live instead of the gremlins coming on to my videos and stopping them from uploading. So we'll see what happens as well. And also the FA Cup has been made as well, so I will go through that in another video as well. So look forward to more content from me. It is good to be doing more content for sure. Enjoying doing this, and we shall see what happens for the weekend's game. So good luck to all your teams. Obviously not if you're a Tottenham fan, because I can't have you beating Liverpool, obviously. So we'll see what happens. But some good games. Palace Arsenal, obviously that's a Saturday lunchtime game. Sheffield United West Ham. Is that a grudge match? Leave that in the comment section below. Is that a grudge match? We shall see what happens with that one. Tottenham Liverpool, obviously 5:30 as well on the Saturday. Bournemouth Watford and Aston Villa Man City are your Super Sunday games. So that is it. That is it. Done and dusted for another week. And I will be back with some more videos very, very soon. And also enjoy Arsenal Leeds United, which is kicking off very shortly indeed. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back very, very soon with some more videos as well. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Have a good evening. Cheers. Bye-bye.